Hey Rangers, just before we get into this review, just want to bring up that we do have another channel called The Geek Chest, which if you guys are interested in anime, want to check out some sweet Godzilla reviews, or just want to know what's going on with the channel, what action figures I'm going to be picking up, or what's actually come in, definitely recommend going to subscribe to that channel, become a Ranger today, and now on to the review. Hey Rangers, welcome to Super On Point Reviews. My name's Steve, and today we're going over the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Kylo Ren. He is from the upcoming Star Wars film, Star Wars Episode 7. I absolutely know nothing about this guy as of right now, which I want to keep it that way, so don't spoil anything for me in the comments below, but trying to keep as spoiler-free as possible for the upcoming Star Wars movie. But with Force Friday happening and with new toys coming out, couldn't pass him up picking him up, and he looks awesome. So without further ado, for the packaging, because I have nothing else to talk about this guy, pretty much for the front, you get a new little different look on the Black Series packaging, where you get a nice, awesome image of him at the bottom right here. Star Wars Black Series at the top. Tells you his name right here. Side of the packaging, more names. And actually you get his name also in the backdrop, which is actually pretty cool. He is number 3 out of the new Star Wars Black Series figures. And on the back of the packaging just gives you a little bit of bio for him, which Kylo Ren is a dark warrior strong with the Force. Kylo Ren commands the First Order missions with a temperous fury as his unconventional lightsaber. And then just the same picture we pretty much got on the front, and some Lego mumbo jumbos. So, let's get this guy opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now we have Kylo Ren opened up out of his cardboard prison. First, we're going to go over his one accessory, which is his crossguard lightsaber, which overall looks freaking awesome. Really love the red blade here, very reminiscent of Darth Vader's, or pretty much any Sith in general. You know this guy's a bad guy when he's rocking one of these. Also, one of the things I want to point out with this lightsaber in general is that I actually really love the design for this, which I know some people were like, this looks kind of goofy. But to be honest, it makes sense for me, because when using a lightsaber, you imagine when they're crossing blades and whatnot, all they really have to do is slide down the blade here and just like cut off the dude's fingers holding onto the lightsaber, do some major damage, because there's not really any way of protecting your fingers. While this lightsaber kind of covers that problem, which I kind of hope that his fighting style maybe like translates with that in the new film, because I think that'd be pretty sweet. Kind of gives a reason to include this little cross guard right here. But I think they did a really awesome job molding the beam coming out of it. It looks very fierce, where it has this nice electrified look at the base here, and then coming across to the top, you can see the little ripples in the energy blade here. Looks awesome. Even with the lightsaber too, at the bottom has its own individual look to it. We have like the little metal parts protruding out of the side of the lightsaber for the guard right here. And then for the paint job for the lightsaber, it's this nice like silver mixed with gunmetal over top. Looks really nice. And has a little bit of red here at the base. But some little individual characteristics give it its own identity. And overall, I think it's an awesome lightsaber for our new villain. Alright, and then for a closer look at Kylo's details, for his body, it's in a primarily black color scheme with a little bit of details strewn about here and there. But for the most part, the majority of the body is covered in this nice cloth cloak, which overall gives him this nice menacing appearance. And then what's cool too is because this is actually soft fabric, you can actually pull this back to reveal Kylo's head sculpt, which actually looks freaking awesome. And one thing you're going to notice is that his helmet is super damaged. Like, he has been in quite a bit of battles. And also, looking at it, kind of reminds me of a certain Sith Lord, you know? Because I've heard some rumors, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but it's just something that kind of came my way a little bit with these toys being released and hearing a few things. But the helmet is very reminiscent of Darth Vader, and one idea out there is this is Darth Vader's old helmet, and Kylo is just repurposing it for his own purposes. And the way it looks is that theory could possibly be correct, because you can see all this damage up here, which overall gives him this really nice stylized look to him. Like, it's not very clean, which I really love personally. Like, even looking at like the silver lines going around his visor right here, it's not very cohesive. Like, it kind of looks a little bit rough overall, and it looks really cool. Like, it really gives him a nice menacing look here. And you even have like this mask cover up front, which actually looks very clean in comparison to the rest of the helmet. So it might actually be true. But at least looking at this, I would lean more to the fact that Kylo has something to do with Darth Vader. Like, he has some kind of past with him, which definitely seems to be the case here. Not 100% sure, so don't judge me for it. But from what I've heard and with this action figure here, it isn't very far-fetched. And then moving on to his scarf, which is actually made out of plastic, which seems a little bit weird since his cloak is made out of fabric. Why not make this out of fabric? But I actually like this a lot because it helps to keep the fabric in check here, because then you don't have to worry about like losing the shape of his hood right here, or maybe something else getting loosened up. Like, I actually really like it as more of like a safeguard kind of thing, and it overall helps to give him a little bit of different characteristics too. And then for his arms, actually, again, very Darth Vader looking. Like, it looks like he just kind of stuck his arm in a plastic tube and that's what he's using for his sleeve. But it looks really, really cool. And same with his belt here. Overall, nothing too much going on here, but there is a little bit of a design here right at the front with some silver paint job right here for the buckle. And then doesn't look like there's really anything going on the back portion of here. And then moving down, you see that he does have some plastic lining here underneath his cloak here, which lifting it up looks like normal pants underneath, except for he has the more black boots at the bottom. But overall look very good. Have this very nice gloss black paint job over top of it. Looks really spiffy underneath all this, especially with the more flat paint job for the helmet here. Really is nice to see something like this that kind of helps distinguish the figure a little bit. And overall, I think he just looks very menacing. Like, you just don't really know what's going on with this guy. And from what I hear, he's supposed to be a very ruthless villain overall, which is something that'd be very cool, very Darth Vader-esque, which is pretty much, I imagine they're heavily inspiring him, especially with the helmet right here and stuff, which is actually really awesome. Like, go with something that works, right? And then for his articulation, his head can look left and right. Doesn't appear to have any up or down motion. For his shoulders, can move up about this far, down about this far. Can rotate all the way around. Has a bend here at the elbow. Can also bend backwards about yay far, which looks super painful. Also has a rotation here at the elbow. Can also rotate here at the hand. Also has a little bit of bend here because it is on a hinge system, so it can't really do a pivot too much. Alright, so for his waist, he does actually have an abdominal crunch, which is separate from his legs here, which is really nice. Can also pivot a little bit left to the right, and also rotate side to side, which is really good. Just be a little bit wary messing around with the waist too much, because it doesn't appear like anything would really happen, but you can't really rotate them all the way around because of the cloak here and whatnot. So just be forewarned, if you start rotating a little bit too much, you might mess with the positioning and might tear something a little bit. So just be a little bit careful of that. For his legs, with all the plastic under here, they can move out about that far. Move in about that far. He has a very nice forward kick. Can move his legs about that far, but you got a lot of plastic under here, so it kind of hinders the backwards movement. For his knee, has a nice double joint, so you actually get a really nice bend there for it. Can straighten up about that far. Also has a rotation here at the upper part of the thigh, which is something else slightly missing because you can't really see it because of all the cloth getting in the way. And then at his feet, also has a very, very nice pivot, and can also bend forward and back and rotate all the way around. And sadly, I don't have a Darth Vader to compare Kylo Ren to, but I do have some other Black Series action figures with the Boba Fett and the Clone Trooper Commander. And here is your standard Imperial Stormtrooper and Scout Trooper on speeder bike. And for you kaiju fans, here is next to the NECA 1954 Godzilla and the Ultra Act Ultra Mantiga. And here's the Star Wars Hasbro Transformers Boba Fett, with the mini Boba Fett piloting him. So overall, with the Black Series Kylo Ren action figure, I actually like this figure a lot. Love the details on this guy. His lightsaber is awesome and surprisingly has a decent amount of articulation, especially with all the cloth being in the way. He still has a nice range of motion. And if you guys are excited about the new Star Wars movie coming out December 18th, definitely recommend picking up this guy. I think he would look awesome standing next to a Black Series Darth Vader on your shelf. And you definitely need the Commander of the First Order in your collection today. So what do you guys think? Have you guys picked up Kylo Ren? Are you guys excited about The Force Awakens, or is the prequels just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. A little closer picture of this guy on Facebook. You want to click the link in the description below. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe to become a Ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.